Hey, Cody, what up?
Hey, Dr. John, how's it going?
I'm all right, brother. How are you, man?
Doing all right. I just wanted to congratulate you real quick on the success the show's been having. You and your team just do great work, so I'm really happy to see all the success you guys have had.
I appreciate that, man. It's we're all just shaking our heads. It's hard to believe, but we're grateful for you.
Hey, well, my question is, I just got married a month ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I have been so happy. I married my high school sweetheart, and
Gross.
I've just been the happiest I've ever been. Marriage has just made everything about life better. And
That's awesome.
I found out, about a week ago that my wife has been struggling with an eating disorder, and she's been struggling with it for about 2 years.
Okay.
And so I can give you some more context, but ultimately my question is, how do I support her as somebody who is not an expert? And also, how do I encourage her to reach out for help when she refuses to?
How'd you come to find out?
So a couple of months ago, she had mentioned that years ago, she had struggled. In her words, she said, I was a little bulimic, and said that she had dealt with it and had been better for a while. And so foolishly, I guess I just kind of took that at face value, and I didn't really ask any more questions. I didn't keep an eye out for things. But then about a week ago, I just heard her in the bathroom, and it was pretty violent. And so when she came out, I asked her, hey, did you just throw up? And she said yes, and so we had a discussion about it, and she said that she had actually still been purging at least 2 or 3 times a day, every day for the last 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, man. Whew. All right, so here's a couple of things at play, okay? And we're going to work backwards, okay? Or actually, we're going to work forwards. And so the most complicated, hard part of this is the disordered eating part. So we're going to get to that. But I want to acknowledge what happened and how you're going to move forward on the front end, okay? Is that cool?
Sounds good.
All right. Here's issue number 1. You feel like your wife lied to you and deceived you for 2 years. High school sweetheart. I know everything about her. I know everybody she's ever kissed, everybody she ever held hands with. I know what scares her and all this. And then all of a sudden this comes up. That can often make us feel scared, angry, powerless. How are you feeling finding this out and just kind of sitting in it for a second?
I've felt mainly just a little bit stupid, not seeing the signs. I haven't had any kind of anger towards her. I understand that, one of the main emotions associated with this is just shame. And so I've had things in my life that I've been ashamed about. So I completely understand that it's not something that she wanted to be upfront about. I mainly just feel upset with myself that I didn't see the signs and I couldn't help her earlier.
Okay. Well, good on you. You've got a very healthy perspective of this, except I want you to not blame yourself because this has little to nothing to do with you, okay?
Okay.
The more you beat yourself up, the more as she's trying to get some sort of like grasping at ghosts for control in her world, when you make this about you too, that's yet another thing that is taken. Does that make sense? And it sounds strange.
No, yeah, I understand.
But I appreciate you loving her enough that you know she's sick and she wasn't trying to lie to you and that she's been struggling. And if she had a path to reach to you, she would have. Right?
Yeah.
Most of us make these kind of things about ourselves, and you haven't done that, except that you're blaming yourself for missing it. That just means you love her, and I'm happy that you have that kind of spirit. But every time you start to feel that shame, I want you to exhale and say, I've loved her the best I could over the last few years. Okay? I want you to not carry that brick around because it's going to make it heavier as you enter into this new season with her, okay?
Okay.
Now, in retrospect, and this is for everybody listening, but also with you, In retrospect, often people who are struggling with something will practice. Okay, they will put something out on the table a little bit, a little bit blurry vision of reality and of truth to see what we're going to do with it.
Okay.
So, for instance, in my house, I'm always having to tell my wife because a lot of my reading, a lot of my scholarly stuff that I still dig into, the research stuff is on infidelity, on people's fantasies, and so I'm always having to tell my wife, "Hey, have you ever had this kind of fantasy? Or has this ever popped into your head?" And I always have to say, "And I'm just doing research. Like I'm not testing anything, right?" But sometimes people say, "So and so at work just found out that their husband cheated." Like, what would you even do, right? Actually, they're struggling, right? They found themselves over their head. Or in your situation, hey, I used to struggle with this, and there's kind of a ... after it, right?
Yeah.
And now that you know that happened, I think it's fair to come back and say, hey, I recognize you put this on the table and I missed it. And I need you to know I'm going to love you until the end of time in sickness and in health, till death do us part. There's nothing you can bring to the table that's going to send me running away. You see that sort of reassurance?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I don't want you to blame you didn't miss anything. You didn't even know, right? And now you're going to start looking back and going, oh, this. And every time we went out to dinner, she got up from the table. And every time we went to breakfast, she got up from the table. And you're going to start to see it. And you just have to know, you got a new pair of glasses now. This is wisdom, right? And here we're going to move forward, not backwards. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. Now, she doesn't want to get help for this. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I told her, we had a long conversation about this last week, and she had told me about the things that she had been struggling with. And after talking about it for a while, I said, I'm not an expert on this, but I really feel like you probably should talk to an expert and get help. I don't know if this is something that you can really tackle on your own. And she just feels very strongly that she can tackle it on her own. She says she's just a very independent person, and I have confidence in her. I don't know anything.
I have zero. None. Not one shred. No, let me take that back. I have confidence in her. I do not have any confidence that she can tackle a 2-year disordered eating challenge by herself. None.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And because of my previous work, 2 decades with college students, you can imagine I saw this a lot.
For
and
sure.
You've probably Googled this, but disordered eating is known as the most lethal mental health challenge.
Yeah.
Right? And if it's not lethal acutely, meaning it doesn't cause the death itself, the downstream consequences of all sorts of heart issues and gut issues and mineral deficiency, it has a long tail of challenge with it.
Okay.
And so the reality is, somebody who is struggling, like I said, for control in their life, going to get help, is doing the exact thing they're trying so hard to fight against, which is a loss of control. It's sitting down and saying, this is more powerful than me and I need help. That's the inner terror that she is fighting every single day of her life. And that's the only path. Here's what's really heartbreaking. You can't make her do that.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can go see somebody. And if your wife asks, what are you doing? Say, what your particular illness, and I think it's okay to call it an illness, is the single most devastating mental illness there is, and or lethal. And I don't know how to love you through this, and so I'm going to go get some skills and some help.
Okay.
Another thing you can do, and this is this is the red button, right? This is the atomic response. And quite honestly, this is probably the response I would take. But I tend to be this kind of guy. Okay. Um, I I have just sat with enough people who have passed away that I'm willing to lose everything relationally in order to keep them alive. That's my own bias. That's my own calluses built up over a long time. Okay. And so if I got to burn our friendship to the ground or our relationship to the ground, cool. If you're still here in 10 years to hate me, then I win. So that's my tack. That's not for everybody. Okay.
Okay.
But 2 years. How old are y'all?
We're 21.
Yeah. Y'all are very young. That's a long time. And I would be shocked if this is only 2 years or there wasn't some other sort of cutting or other sort of challenge before that. Do you know of anything before this?
I don't know of any other kind of self-harm. Okay. I know that she had a difficult childhood. Okay. She has a father who struggled with depression, and she's been through her fair share.
Okay. Does she have some sorority sisters or some friends or some people that is when you're 21, often you still have a friendship gang until y'all start marrying off, right? Do y'all have a gang of people that you could bring in to sit around a table and say, hey, we're all with you, but we're going to get some help together?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would probably sit down with her one more time and say, I got some wisdom. I've scheduled my own appointment because I don't know how to love you through this. I just know that this is scary and terrifying. And if not for you, it is for me.
Yeah.
And if you go get some help, I'll be right here with you. If you're not, I'm going to call all of our friends and circle up, and we're going to be on you about it because we're worried about you.
Okay.
And give her that choice. And she will probably turn on you for a season. That's just her defending herself, okay? It's not about you loving her. It's about her being scared to death. Okay?
All right.
And I hate that you found yourself in this situation. It's hard. Hard and scary and hard and scary and hard and scary.
Yeah.
Because you love her a lot, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Whew. Sorry, man. And if she wants to call the show, I'd be happy to talk to her. Or if you want to call back and get some more feedback before you pull the trigger and actually do an intervention of sorts, I'm happy to walk y'all through what that would look like. But 2 years at this age, I have 0% chance, or 0% confidence that she can just flip a switch and turn this thing around. Not given childhood trauma, not given the historical pattern, not given multiple years, not given her wanting to talk about it. I mean, trying to stop and not being able to. It's a pattern, and she just found herself stuck here, man, and it can be a dangerous one at this point. I'm trying to clarify this as simple as possible, and not talk like a nerd. If you're trying to change a different type of addiction, like you're trying to stop drinking, one of the first things you do is you cut off ties with people who drink. You get all the alcohol out of your house. You never go by a bar again or a liquor store, right? You can effectively cut alcohol out of your life. You cannot cut food out of your life. So it's a different kind of, the healing that has to happen has to be right through it, and you have to make peace with it. And that's different than cutting it out and then healing in its absence. That's a different kind of challenge. And it just takes a particular type of expertise. It's very hard, and it haunts people sometimes for their whole life. And sometimes people are incredibly resilient and they heal, and it's amazing. So hear me say, I'm trying to say it as calm as I can, but you're over your head and so is she. Okay. And I'm telling you that because I love you, but getting professional support and help ASAP, and calling in people who love her that she might listen to over and above her own resistance is really important right now. Okay? Hang on the line. We'll hook you up with that BetterHelp code and get you taken care of there. Give you somebody to call today that you can reach out to. And I'd also be on the phone to call somebody in your local area. And go to Psychology Today, and you can go to the back, and you can look up people in your local area who will have an expertise in, or you can Google, I say go in the back, that's the old magazine, but you can, because I'm 1,000 years old, but you can Google Psychology Today and then do a search for your zip code area, and it will bring up licensed mental health professionals in your area, and look for ones that focus specifically on disordered eating and relationships. We'll go from there. Thanks for the call, brother. Thanks for being a husband that loves his wife and is not going to war with her or his own ego, but just wants everybody to be whole. You're a good man, Cody.